Great to be here. So yeah, I'm here today to talk about the power of video and how video research technology is really helping us influence at scale by engaging senior stakeholders right across our organizations. So yeah, as I think was covered fairly comprehensively in the last presentation, video's influence is ever increasing. We're seeing it on all of the social media feeds that we access daily, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, or as far as business channels, LinkedIn. And we're very much a generation that's becoming completely comfortable sharing our stories via video. And it's consumed en masse for kind of multiple reasons, which I'll go into in a moment. And that's mostly because stories are engaging because they're inherently visual, and we're more receptive to visual communication. As you can see, I've pulled a couple of key statistics here, and that's that 90% of the information transmitted to the brain is visual, and 95% of the message is retained when watching a video compared to 10% in text. So you can see already why video is proving so popular. But what I kind of wanted to focus on today is that alongside this kind of emotional and visual appeal, the video is really kind of important for kind of hitting home on that influence because of its emotional strength. And I just wanted to bring this quote from Dale Carnegie forwards because the influence is very much a result of that emotion that it provides. Which explains why video is not solely confined to our social feeds and the Instagram and the Facebook, the ways we're accessing it there, and that it's spreading throughout our entire business. In fact, Forbes revealed that 3/4 of executives are using video for business-related decision making now. So you can see how it's proliferating through all the different areas of our company. And I should add that as researchers, we're actually aiming for maximum influence, which is why I wanted to get onto the power of video technology and how it can help us actually scale video and achieve both rational and emotional appeal, which again, when you come to different personalities within your organization, is going to help us have that influence at scale. So how can we achieve this with the tools that have transformed video? Well, firstly, we must kind of look at the traditional challenges of video. It's always had that emotional power, but it's also been expensive, time and resource intensive, which has made it kind of difficult to scale. As we've spoke about in earlier presentations, you can typically get a handful of respondents in a room. And what that does is it enables particularly the more rational thinkers to undermine the emotional power of video. So again, I think there have always been these challenges of video, but technology has been around now for a good few years. I mean, Voxpopme itself launched 5 years ago, and yeah, they've been around to kind of transform that process. And just to kind of expand on that, there's several platforms out there that enable us to kind of automate and optimize the process of capturing self-recorded feedback straight from consumers' digital devices, be that their laptops, tablets, webcams, whatever it may be. And then also optimize the analysis of that. We have really kind of fantastic automated analytics that help us search and filter through hundreds of videos and find the kind of key insights that we're looking for. And then also DIY editing tools mean that in order to share these kind of powerful video stories, we haven't got to kind of wait for it to come back from the creative department. We can literally go in, do DIY editing and pull together the kind of key snippets. So yeah, to really kind of, as I said, revolutionized video, made it an end-to-end solution for researchers, which is enabling us to influence entire departments, campaigns, and projects with video. So a lot of this kind of emanates in the research department, but it spreads throughout product development, marketing, advertising, customer experience. This kind of videos influence, as I said, is kind of spreading like wildfire throughout these different departments, and it is becoming critical to business decisions within our organizations. For the market research department itself, the applications are many, and then you'll see how some of these are kind of employed in different areas of the business as we go through. But kind of I'll go through some of the technical side of how these are applied. So for instance, for those looking to embed video questions straight into your surveys, you can do that into any online survey, any online community, and the respondent no longer would have to go through a redirect out to a different platform to leave a video. They'll just be going through their survey, and they'll be asked to record a video response. They can activate regardless of device and leave that response. Then there's some kind of really cool apps out there. So on-demand communities are available to collect quick-turn video feedback. So no longer are you having to go through a lengthy recruitment process to find respondents and bring them on board for a focus group. You can be asking video questions and get responses often in less than an hour. And then some specialist apps as well. So offline apps that bring video into our face-to-face surveys, even if we've got very limited access to Wi-Fi. And others that enable task and diary-based studies. So perhaps we want to collect a number of videos from the same group of respondents over 2, 3, 4 days, and a combination of task-based studies and then just talking heads, kind of just immediate response to creative or whatever it may be. And then finally, even some of that older content or kind of the longer format content that we'll have, we can still upload that and use some of the analytics tools and the sharing tools that are available with these new platforms to just get the most out of our video insights and shorten the time span that it takes for us to do that. So as I said, kind of many of these projects emanate from the market research department, but kind of impact all different parts of the company. So I wanted to bring that to life with some real life applications. So I'll jump into those. So for product development, we actually worked with Hyundai very recently, and traditionally, as part of their product development, they were already using video. They saw it as an influential tool. So what they do is for their car clinics, they'd choose one car clinic where they could hire a camera crew and run a focus group post project. However, in order to kind of, again, make video a scalable solution and make it very, keep that emotional power, but make it very believable and very informative internally, Hyundai wanted to collect video from all of their car clinics around the US simultaneously. So they had these going on in multiple states and were able to actually collect consumer feedback, self-recorded, whilst the consumer's on site at the car clinic and post-event once they've returned home. So they're getting that combination of immediate reaction as well as this kind of post-event once they've had a little time to digest. And that just really gives kind of really comprehensive insight that they can feed back into the engineering department. And on the analytics front, that actually enabled the team there to bring out those insights in a really timely manner. As I mentioned kind of earlier on in the presentation, that video has traditionally been time intensive and resource intensive. By shortening that cycle, we can actually influence business decisions at the speed our businesses need to move at these days. On the marketing front, one of our clients, Clorox, actually wanted to set up mini interviews. So African Americans had been over-indexing on charcoal usage versus the general US population. And what they actually wanted to do was dive into a specific segmentation based in the South and Southeast and find out about their preferences and their natural language use at grilling occasions. So they're able to set up these mini interviews by screening one of Voxpopme's on-demand communities in the States, picking out people that lived in the South and Southeast of America and went to these occasions, be that hosting grilling occasions or just attending, and they're actually really able to kind of get a handle on what the natural language uses was around this, and then tailor their messaging to that language. And then they were also able to understand previously misunderstood product usage. So actually some wood pellet usage was purely for flavor enhancement, not for kind of actually the process of cooking the barbecue. On the advertising front, for those of you that were at IIX last week, we presented this with Microsoft. They actually wanted to test their real people campaign. So this is a campaign that was huge advertising budget behind it, going out to the US and global markets. And basically they wanted to put real people using Windows PCs in front of their customers through advertisements. But what they were able to do is set up a survey where they could embed the advertisement, so across multiple different characters that they wanted to test, and then share those advertisements with respondents. For the respondent, they'd hit the survey, watch their video, and then have their question around that character or multiple characters. And the respondents are able to kind of really inform Microsoft's creative process by kind of picking out the pros and cons of the characters that they liked, showing their likes and dislikes. And for Microsoft, that enabled them to pick an optimum character that actually that anticipated just using in the US market, and use that character for the global market as well, because they resonated so well in all the different markets where they used this, where they ran this video project. And then they also one final one on the customer experience front, as they actually include video in their CX program. So again, moving away from the market research side of things a little bit, but as they kind of had a high level of understanding of customers thanks to their existing CX data, but it was very much a high level of understanding and didn't reveal the why behind that data. So the insights team knew they had a problem with delivery, and as they were kind enough to kind of co-present this with us previously, but what they chose to do was embed video questions into their existing CSAT and web intercept surveys, replacing text open ends with video open ends to collect post-shopping feedback, and most importantly, real authentic customer stories that went into the kind of secondary and tertiary reasons as to why customers felt the way they did. And the one that kind of massively stood out for them is that when consumers are expecting deliveries, actually they were quite often unable to contact drivers that were running late, and also when their shopping finally did arrive, all their fruit and vegetables had been overpacked, so they were squashed. And it's just this secondary, tertiary kind of additional information that you just can't glean from text open ends or kind of plain statistics, and as they're able to share that with their board on a weekly basis and their wider workforce as well through kind of the simple sharing tools that end-to-end video platforms provide. And time and time again, much like the ASDA case study, we see that influential video insights consistently make it into the C-suite, and part of that is the timeliness, and the piece that enables that is the kind of the back end. So we've seen some of the different ways people are capturing video, but once we've got all that content, it's really important that in a timely fashion, it is all time coded, quality checked. If we want to pass customer data, we can pass that through to the platform, and then add custom tags and then get even more advanced with the analytics. So Voxpopme's platform in particular has advanced theme coding, which groups key themes from all of that content together and then overlays sentiment at that theme level as well. So as you can imagine, as a business, you can quickly see the areas where you're kind of excelling and those areas where you're kind of struggling to perform and struggling to impress your customers, thanks to these automated insights that let you search and filter through all those responses. And importantly, those transcripts are also all time coded. So what that enables is the DIY editing that I mentioned earlier. As a kind of researcher, being able to do this in a timely fashion, again, is just critical to informing business decisions or helping shape products or advertisements. So you can actually get in and you can just drag and drop edit. So you can go, I want the sentence of this transcript and piece it into a list. Again, this is a really powerful snippet of video. Drag and drop like you would on your iPhone over a piece of text. Drop it into a showreel. You can add captions, subtitles, and begin to customize it by adding your logo or some text narrative into that. And this is all very intuitive, very easy for you to do, and then is instantly shareable, whether you want to download that by as an MP4 and embed it into your next PowerPoint presentation, or whether you want to share it via a kind of secure landing page, so where someone needs the email address and password to log in and access the video content. So you've got an array of different options there. Again, the critical piece here is that puts real people back into the C-suite. Just to kind of get those real kind of raw, authentic stories back in front of them. But as I said, it's kind of because of the scalability factor as well. We've got that rational and emotional appeal, and we're getting all of that together in front of the senior stakeholders in our business to influence their decisions. Thank you very much, and happy to hear your questions.